What's up, everybody? Sean the D-Man here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having yourselves a great week. We are back with another episode of our Daredevil Born Again review. Uh, Dropped the first part, or the first episode review last night. Here we are with episode 2, and overall, still pretty good with it. First episode I really enjoyed. Maybe minus the whole Foggy thing. I think it's gonna be weird trying to get used to this series without Foggy, and I don't really know how much of Karen we're gonna get. She wasn't in this episode, but again, we have like 6 more episodes to go before season 1 is finished. I'm trying to think where I want to go with this. I definitely would say both Matt and Fisk let their inner demons out in some capacity. So with Fisk, he, newly anointed mayor, he's got to do all this stuff for optics, gotta make look good for the camera, continue to reel in everybody. But there is an issue that he's having. The younger generation is loving him, but your more older traditional people, like married couples, that kind of thing, they're kind of, he's not tracking well with them. And that's more likely probably to do with both him and Vanessa having their own issues and probably not being seen out together as husband and wife in the public eye. Because some people may care about that, so they end up going to see Heather, who they're in marriage counseling, and so there is some stuff that he harkens back to. I guess Echo, mainly I would say Daredevil season 3, when he's talking about like he was, beaten by a vigilante and that kind of thing. And so I really love the opening of this episode because it's Fisk talking about, he's doing his speech and he's talking about how, the city, no longer need to require on people like White Tiger or a guy in a spider suit or a devil or a guy with wearing devil horns. And I love those little nods. And it ties into the MCU because obviously Spider-Man is a part of this as well. And so I love that little adage of talking about a guy in a spider suit. I don't know why they just didn't name the name, but this worked out just fine for me, so I'm not really complaining as much. So one of the issues Fisk is having is Commissioner Gallo, who is on his way out and was more than likely half the police officers. So we learned that from BB, because BB got a meeting with Fisk through Daniel, and I thought the first episode review I did, I thought she may have been Ben's daughter, but she is his niece, and she's talking about how, like, you lose the cops, you lose the city. And with Gallo announcing his retirement, potentially half the police force leaving as well, Fisk has to find a way to reel him in and keep him in his place, especially after the funeral scene for the police officer that was killed, where Fisk shows up and Gallo's just like, you have a lot of nerve showing up here. Like, do you even have remorse and all that stuff? Because he's kind of just digging at Fisk. Like, how many guys have you put in this cemetery, whether directly or indirectly by your actions? And so he's just like, I see right through you. This is just an act. And he was just like, I'll see you around. Calls him Kingpin, which definitely takes a dig at Wilson. But man, it was just then later in the episode, he's like eating a Philly cheesesteak, or at least a cheesesteak in general, and like Gallo comes in, throws down his letter, and he's just kind of like, here's my letter, I'm done, good luck. Feeling half the police force. And so, but then this is where the kingpin aspect starts to rear its head, and he essentially threatens. He's like, you basically do what I say, or these two individuals are very much in trouble. And Gallo reluctantly is just kind of like, okay, I'll stay, but be careful what you wish for. So he's definitely gonna cause some trouble. He's definitely gonna be trouble for Wilson, for sure. Another aspect that we got was White Tiger. He's coming home from, I guess, getting groceries, tries to stop a mugging or beating by two basically corrupt cops. One of them accidentally gets killed, but there's probably more to the story than was actually going on. Gets arrested. Matt finds out because Matt's there doing some other lawyer stuff. And even he lets his devil out because, like later in the episode, they find the key witness that hinges on the case because the witness obviously witnessed everything. Well, the cop that was killed's partner, they found out where he lives. Torres was his last name. I can't remember his first name. They find out where Torres lives, and they're like, they're coming to kill you, dude. You're the witness. You're the key. It's like watching Shawshank Redemption, and then there's that one guy who can vouch for Andy Dufresne to basically prove his innocence. And then the warden's like, well, I can't have that, and kills him. It's basically the situation. We gotta get rid of you if we want him to be put away. Because Matt calls Cherry and just like, hey, drive to, well, I think he said Fort Park. Ford Park, I think is what he called it. He tells Torres, go to the park. I got a friend. He'll make sure you're safe. And Matt gets a little beating on him, but the moment the blood kind of like drops, he just goes full Daredevil, and we get some of the scenes that we saw in the first trailer, and it's just, oh man, he let that devil out. Now, there was, I remember maybe it was the leak Comic-Con trailer or D23 trailer, but maybe it's later, maybe it's just later, but I remember we see Kamala Khan's dad, or at least the actor who plays her dad in the series. So I wonder if that's still in the series, or is that just something that maybe that starts at the beginning of episode 3. I'm not sure, but I thought that was going to be that scene where we kind of see that, but it's just Matt just, oh god, like you saw him like break the guy's arm, and very much grotesque for sure. But yeah, so I'm trying to think what else happened in this episode. It was interesting talk with like Matt and Cherry, where this is after Matt finds out that he's White Tiger and everything. They're just having a conversation talking about, like, Cherry's like, I think Cherry is one of these characters that were originally in the 18 episode pitch, because I don't know who this guy is or where he came from. And then number 2, he knew Matt. So I think there was some plot line with him in the previous incarnation of the series, but they just kept him around for this, I guess. But he's talked about how, like, you look great, you wear a nice suit and things like that, and he said he's enjoyed watching this Matt over the past year continue to grow and things like that. So you definitely can tell the Daredevil side of Matt definitely wants to come out at times. But I mean, it was a pretty chill, not chill episode, but it was a pretty fun episode. The police officer who's beating up Matt at the end of the episode pinned him against the wall, and he had a tattoo of a, it looked like a Punisher skull, but I mean, obviously it's not Punisher related. Oh, never mind. Let me back up. Because when I was talking about with Fisk and basically naming Spider-Man, he actually meant Punisher, because he was talking about he talked about, we don't need people with a gun and a skull on their chest running around. So I meant to say he meant Punisher, but the police officer, he had like a tattoo on his arm. So I'm curious on what that tattoo is, and yeah, I'm very curious about what that tattoo is. I believe this is the same episode where I think we saw the guy who is supposed to be Mimic, the villain of the series. It was at Heather's book signing, and she was going over a book that she had just published, and it's one of those, hey, I'll come read a couple of chapters and then sign books later kind of deal. That could have been him, but I could be wrong. But we'll definitely see for sure. But other than that, overall, really much enjoyed the episode. So far, the first two episodes have been relatively good. I think I saw Rotten Tomatoes has it like 78%. Fan score is like 94%. So far through the first two episodes, people are liking it. We'll see how things go with the future episodes. But guys, if you're new to the channel, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure you comment below. That's pretty much all I got for y'all. And head over to the gaming channel before I forget. I'll be doing a live stream of The Last of Us later on today. So definitely go over to the gaming channel. You can find that down in the description below. But thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all have a good one.